Hello and welcome back. Before we start this week's podcast, we need to discuss our patron. Sam, what is our patron?
Our Patreon, Tom, is patreon.com/From the Boundary Podcast. And on Patreon, it means that you can support us.
If we sound professional, it's because we messed it up the first time. And how much does our Patreon cost, Sam?
Our Patreon is £5 a month. And for that, oh, fucked it up, I'm not restarting. For that, you get these episodes that you're listening to now early. So rather than getting them on a Monday like everyone else, you can get them on a Saturday. You also get a discount on merch, which we haven't started yet. But when it starts, you'll get a discount on merch. There's also going to be extra episodes. We're going to probably aim to do one a month, potentially, probably. And we give you priority when it comes to contacting the podcast.
Excellent. Thanks, Sam.
Any other questions about it?
Not for now.
So, to reiterate, patreon.com/From the Boundary Podcast for just £5 a month, which is less than a pint in most places, isn't it? Basically,
down here it is, yeah.
Basically, buy me and Tom a pint a month, and then we'll be very happy with you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to From the Boundary, recorded in a loft in Kent. Let's see what these two idiots have to say this week. Before they start though, I must ask you to follow, like and repost all their amazing social medias. Search From the Boundary on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok for updates and clips.
Hello and welcome to From the Boundary. I am Tom and I'm once again joined by my co-host Sam.
Before we start this episode though, we need to talk about Quick Fix Bat Services. Got it right that time. Nailed it. Henry, who's been on the podcast, probably OG sponsor now. He has now offered, it's not now, he did it before Christmas, but all listeners to the From the Boundary.
Get to the point, Sam, the point.
I think him sponsoring a podcast that two people that got ADHD is probably not the best idea, but never mind. Back on point. Henry gives all of the listeners to From the Boundary 5% off all his services. And all you have to do is message him, ask him for a service on Instagram, say you've come from us, use the code word boundary5 for 5% off. That is Quick Fix _Bat Services. Quick Fix _Bat Services on Instagram. Message Henry, go back, watch the episode that he's on, come back, watch this episode. Everyone's caught up. You know who Henry is. You know who we are.
We know who Henry is.
We know, well, and the listeners, because if they've not listened to the... If they've not listened, everyone knows who Henry is. And then...
And they get to know who we are.
Yeah, then you get to know who we are, because that was a few episodes, and you'll have some episodes to catch up. And then, yeah, come back, listen to this episode, and then, we're done. I feel like that was
don't think we ever got to the point.
No, the point is that Henry, if you message Henry at Quick Fix Bat Services, he'll give you 5% off. All you've got to do is say Boundary 5, and it's 5% off all services. Perfect in time for the new season.
Amen to that.
Phone on silent.
Yeah, all ready to go.
Sure. Broken fingers in place.
It's on vibrate, yeah.
I was going to say, phone on silent. Mine's even face down, because it's just... That has not stopped ringing today. It's been one of them days where it's been like, and every time it's been, I've just got climbed to the top of ladders, phone's ringing. I'll make it down again. And back up the ladders. Someone else is ringing. Fucking brilliant.
And my job, I need the phone to ring, and my phone's not rung today. I didn't ring much yesterday either.
Do you know what's done that? You've had a shave, you've scared everyone.
Well, that scares them ringing.
Yeah.
I haven't really got the grips with this new shaver yet. It's kind
No, you really haven't, have you?
That one there was like...
What is it? That looks like... What's that? Is it a film or a TV show where they all do the drugs and it comes up?
Oh, does it?
Comes up their neck. I can't remember what film. I've watched it recently as well.
I had the shave yesterday, and last night there was like a tiny little nick like that. And you just wouldn't have been able to tell it. And then I washed my hands. I was in the toilet at work today. I washed my hands, looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, oh, fuck, where's that come from? So it's obviously getting worse like overnight.
You might be scratching it in the night.
Maybe. But yeah.
Do you know, I've saying that, I've got a scar in my beard up here that was done by my barber. Cutting my beard in.
Shaving after like that long must be a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I'm too scared to do it. If I shave now, so I've not been clean shaven since the age of about 20, which is
10 years ago, more than that.
nearly 12 years ago. And do you know what? It might even be longer than that. But let's go with 20. Let's play it safe. And I think when I started growing a beard, there was a lot less chins,
Yeah.
which I'm slightly concerned about if I was to have the shave. I don't want to be like that fish. You know, the fish that looks like a thumb. I don't want to look like that, so don't shave. But yeah, I do normally have the tops cut in. But yeah, he did it once and he scarred me because he got my cheekbone. That was fun. And then with barbers, they just douse that thing in like lighter fuel and go, have that. That's on. And you're going, this is really nice. Fucking stinks like a clown.
Hello and welcome back to From the Boundary, by the way. Yeah, we will talk about some cricket at some point, but we've headed head first really into the general bollocks we do at the start. So head first, we forgot to introduce the cricket bit before anything else.
To be fair, we never really introduced the cricket. We normally get about an hour and then go,
cricket.
Yeah, we better talk about cricket, haven't we? And last week, that was just a shit show. That was again. What day can you do? Well, I can't do that day.
That's basically a net session last Wednesday.
Oh, you're coming tomorrow?
I was like, no, I can't do tomorrow, but I can do Friday. Well, I can't do Friday. I was like, well, I guess we're not doing it this week then.
It's one of them. It's been one of those where all of a sudden it's got like last year in the run up to the cricket season, we seem to have loads of time on our hands. Like we was even planning episodes.
Did we start before last season? Or was it during last season?
I think it was during. No. Oh. Good question.
Because I
remember because we had but don't forget the first 3 episodes never released because you could only hear me. When was that?
Did we try and do that when I was at home? We were both at home. Yeah,
that didn't work. Just doing a screen record of teams didn't work. No. So we're going to have an announcement coming up in the next few weeks, but it will work, I promise. That didn't work, and then we went to the recording only. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many we've been videoing.
Well, I was going to say, if it's been exactly a year, we'd be on like episode 50-ish.
No, because we've missed some.
40, yeah, I suppose.
I reckon
40, 45, maybe.
I think we're at 44.
Yeah, that probably sounds about right for this time last year.
But then
I do remember actually doing a chat before the start of the last cricket season.
Did we? Because I vaguely remember the first.
Or was that the T20 Blast? Was that maybe not the Red Bull stuff?
I can't remember.
No.
Because I remember us having a chat. But I'm pretty sure it might have been after the first week of the season because it was when they was using that Kookaburra ball, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that was it.
I think it was after the first week.
Yeah.
Possibly.
We're struggling to remember stuff. What did you have for lunch? We're really struggling to remember stuff.
Well, I had a wrap. I had 3 wraps, actually.
Oh, nice.
Rosie made me some wraps. They were very nice. Pepperoni and cheese with a little bit of... I was call it Nandanaise. What's it called? Peronaise. No, the mayonnaise with peri sauce. Yeah, that. Very nice.
Yeah, good. I last week I made a concerted effort that I was going to make my own packed lunches now because I only go in like Monday to Wednesday, so I was going to make 3 packed lunches. So I made myself 3 pasta pots last week, and that has lasted the grand total of 1 week. I was back in Tesco's this week because I would do it because I'm at football on a Saturday usually. I would do it on a Sunday. Last Sunday was Mother's Day, so we're doing Mother's Day stuff.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yeah. I'm sure
all the mums.
I'm sure they both listen.
Do you know, mine actually admitted. So my mum likes some of the videos that we post on TikTok and stuff, and there was one that she liked, and I thought there was a lot of swearing in that one. Like, why have you liked that? And she went, to be honest, I just see it pop up, and I just think I'll support you by pressing the like. I'm like, I appreciate it. Could you watch it though? Because that helps.
Yeah, I did think about my nan and granddad had got into watching stuff on Apple TV and stuff, and I thought
we're not advertising on Apple TV.
No, but I thought about telling them that I do this so that they could watch it. But I thought there's a lot of swearing. I don't know if they're ready for their oldest grandchild. I know I'm 31. I know I'm an adult, but I'm not sure if they're ready to hear me.
Let's be honest. I do more swearing than you.
Well, yeah, it's quite hard to keep up.
I am according to my therapist, a mellower human being than I was 18 months ago. which I don't think is that difficult, really. But I appreciated the semi-compliment. You know, do you remember how you were? Yeah, you was a prick then. You're much better now.
Yeah.
You're thinking back to 18 months ago now, aren't you? And going, yes, you're much, much calmer.
You are a lot calmer than you were 18 months ago. I wouldn't say you're not massively different though. But
no, I just don't lose my shit as much. First swear, we need to get a swear jar. We need to get a swear jar.
So
I have to bankrupt this pod very quickly.
How much will I get for a kidney? I need £1,000. No, I've got to get rid of both of them. Well, I wouldn't live. Well,
no, you've got one. I've got one. That's £2,000.
Not giving my kidney away for your swearing.
Yeah, but I can repay you. Just think of it as like a loan. I wonder if there is. I suppose there probably wouldn't be because there's not really a longevity to it.
I assume you get more than £1,000 for a kidney, by the way. I'm just going to chuck that out there. I don't know.
I'd like to think so.
Depends on the kidney.
Yeah, mine and yours are probably not in great shape. How long have we been playing? We've been playing cricket now for, what, nearly 20 years?
Both our half our lives, yeah. 16 years.
And for the last 7, 8 years, we've been going to the pub after every game.
Well, I do that like rain or shine. You don't necessarily always do that. I do.
No, I have a child.
Exactly, but I'm saying you don't necessarily always.
Yours are probably in a worse. Yeah, actually, no, saying that. I was going to say yours are probably in a worse shape than mine, but no, I've had a past. I have probably caned them. But going back to what I was thinking, and this might be an ADHD thought, and you'll probably just go, "What a fucking stupid idea that is." But you know, like pawnbrokers.
Yeah.
We go in with like a bracelet, and they'll go, "There's 50 quid if you pay it back within." A month you can have it. Do you reckon there's one for organs? We'll take out a kidney. Here's £1,000. If you pay it back within 6 months, we'll put it back in.
Well, there must be because there's people on the. Is that where they get on the lists, but they can't find the right match? And
no, I think that's waiting for people to die. I don't think that's when people like fucking cashback. Because what happens if they did? Right, Maureen, it's really good. We found a kidney for you. What's that? He's paid the loan back. Unlucky, Maureen. I mean, I could see a flaw in the plan. But then, I suppose if it goes past 6 months, it doesn't matter whether you pay it back. You're not getting your kidney back.
No, that's true.
Is that how? I don't know how a pawnbrokers
I don't know how it works. No, I'm not really one for jewellery. But you're
ring.
Yeah, you're not massive for it.
Thanks. Well, no, normally rings on that finger, isn't it? But
yeah,
that probably saved the rest of my fingers yesterday. But yeah, it's now moved on to that hand with my bracelets. Which are not mine.
From our cricket nets, which are going unbelievably well for some bizarre reason. I'm surprised people aren't turning up and going, there's loads of people here, must be a really good standard of...
Yeah, no, I think after watching the first ball be bowled, they do go, this is my level.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But yeah, we did have a very near accident last week.
No, we had an accident last week. I think you was batting at the time. What one are you thinking of?
The one where Sam's girlfriend nearly had her head.
Oh, no. Oh, yes. I remember.
That was worse.
I don't know. I did make contact with mine.
Oh, yeah. I remember yours was right at the end.
Yeah, my bouncer that kept on rising. Even I would have been a bit scared by that one. And then when I went down the other end, I don't know whether I'll say his name. No, I won't say his name because he does still play. And hopefully I might need him this year as captain. When I think if you bowl a Yorker now, I think you'll get him. So the next thing I did was bowl a Yorker and took out leg stump and was like, I think he might be a little bit nervous. And I went down and I was like, Jeff, are you all right? And he was like, yeah, all right. Are you sure? And he was like, Jeff. Jevin.
I thought you said you weren't naming him.
No, the person that said to take the Yorker to take the wicket. Because that was my first wicket of nets this year.
I've taken wickets.
I know, you took my wicket.
Did I take?
The one that went down leg side, I swung my bat and it hit the back of my bat and took out my stumps.
Oh, yeah.
That was the most frustrating. Bearing in mind, again, wasn't having a good net batting session was not really... And I even said, everything I hit either didn't hit or just hit straight at catching height. Nothing was going on the floor. Nothing was going out the ground like it normally would for me. I was getting so frustrated. Then you bowl me some absolute dog shit down leg side, and I jokingly had a sweep it. It was one-handed. Swung my bat at it, hit the back of my bat, and got me out.
If you'd done that in a game and it was being filmed, that would have been like something, the sort of one that goes viral, like very club cricket.
It would have also been followed by that bat getting fucking launched. But it does say something about the bat that I managed to absolutely middle that one off the back of the bat.
Off the back of the bat.
I mean, maybe I should try that this year. I wouldn't get many caught off the bowler. A lovely cover drive that's actually going over there. I'd probably still end up not timing it and getting caught somewhere.
I got rid of the angriest man who was already having
he was not happy.
He was already having a bit of a stinker in the nets, and I thought, well,
I'd like to point out this wasn't me, by the way.
I thought I'll just get one down there and he'll just tee off and he'll middle one and it'll be fine.
And it'll come straight back on my head.
and he completely missed it.
Can I just say, I was sat waiting to go at the other net, saw you run up, then heard the stumps clatter, and we all looked at each other and went, oh fuck,
that's not going to help his mood, is it?
You really should have more confidence in your bowling. But the fact that we just said sucking you off,
that doesn't really.
Hang on, would that make you? How many have you got now? In
2,
3, isn't it? Did you not get one last week?
Yeah, well, you just bowled. Obviously, you're not counting really caught behinds or anything like that. Yeah, I think I might have got one last week.
So I think you might be leading wicket taker of pre-season nets.
Oh god. I bowled because I think that one was where I was bowling. I'm going to say not slow. I'm not going to insult the word pace. But was I not bowling slow by that point, or was that spin?
What?
But the one that I got angry out.
I didn't see it. Oh. I literally just saw you go. Was then talking, waiting to go, and then heard the stumps and we were. Oh fuck! That's not going to go down well.
I'm bearing in mind this is a bloke that can have an absolute screamer a net session, and he still comes out fuming.
He'll come out. He is so meticulous though that if he faced 10 balls and got 54 from them 10, he'd be fuming that one didn't go for 6.
Yeah. So I'd stop. I was bowling basically not slow. And the ball after that was okay-ish as well. And then Sam turned around to me and he said, "I think you should actually try and bowl off like a run-up rather than just bowl the slow stuff."
Because you don't you literally look like you can't be asked.
I can't.
And then at a step go. It's not even that, to be fair. It's that. It's the fucking seesaw motion of the left hand coming down.
And he went, "Go on, just try and bowl like that for a bit." And someone else behind him said, "Yeah, actually, you might be able to bowl like that." And then the next ball, I bowled it. It was stinking leg side wide, and I was on the floor, couldn't get back off the floor. I was thinking, yeah, I can't do 6 of those in a row. So I realised an issue.
When you say you had a run up, how many steps are we talking here? Are we talking like...
No, not a full run up. We're
not talking like full Stuart Broad.
How would you describe my run up's usually 2 paces?
A pace and a half.
A pace and a half. We're maybe talking about 6 paces.
Yeah. I think you might have been a bit ambitious. That is one hell of a jump to go from 2 paces to 6. Maybe you could have built up to that. Maybe tonight, when we've got nets after this, you go, right, I'm going to try, normally 2 paces. I'll be generous. I normally do it off 2 paces. Try 3.
3 feels weird though. It's kind of got to be like, it's got to be more than 3, but basically that's can't be asked to do.
Can I just say, I don't actually mark out my run out. Yeah. I don't pace it out. I literally will stand
in an area.
No, kind of. When I'm playing, I will stand just behind the popping crease.
Yeah.
And be like, da-da-da-da-da. That's where I feel comfortable jumping.
Oh, in a game?
In a game. And that's where my run-up is. I see these people and they go, right, it's 1, 2, 3. And they're like 46 and they're at the boundary. And I think, how do you know?
Yeah.
Because all it takes with mine, I think I have a bit more of a window for it to go wrong.
Yeah.
Like if I miss a step or one of my strides is a bit longer, I think, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to go flying over for a no ball. Whereas if you step it out and go, right, my run up is 10 paces, and then one of your steps is slightly short or one of your steps is slightly long, it can go wrong.
Yeah. There are some people.
I don't know why I'm talking to you about this who has 2 paces.
There are some people last year who I noticed were like they're young players and I suppose still learning it. They were kind of marking out their run up at, I don't know, 20 paces or 15 paces or whatever. And then they're bowling no balls and then ended up remarking their run up anyway. And I thought, well, like, how long have you used that run up? Like, to use it actually in a game, like, how long was it before you used it? I suppose you got to actually do it in a game at some point to realise it's wrong.
But then I suppose it's probably easier in the summer nets. There's no wall behind you that you can't really mark it out. But I have found sort of like not safe space. What's the word? Sweet spot.
Yeah.
Of my run up is somewhere between there and there, basically. I don't know where there or there is, but it's a sweet spot between them two. Is where my run up is. Sometimes I pull it forward. Sometimes I have to pull it back. Depends if I've stretched. If my strides are longer, and I need to sort out my little juddery thing. Do you know where I got that from? That's watching my uncle bowl.
Was it?
Yeah, do you remember Rocket?
That's true.
Yeah, that's where I've picked that up from.
Yeah, possibly.
Because no one else, I've never watched anyone else bowl.
JT used to.
He's at the beginning of his run up though, isn't it? Is it?
No, it sort of starts and. Have you ever seen him bowl pace?
Yeah, I've kept behind him bowl because he's a left-hander, isn't he? Yeah,
that's about halfway. It's not the start.
Was it? Why did I think it was at the? Because mine is literally where I get to where the umpire is. I have to sort out my legs. So I was like a Raheem Sterling halfway through my run up and go.
To be fair, I don't bowl in a game, so I just feel like you're going to get the most repetition out of the shortest sort of run up. Like,
but you got.
I have to reach the other end and be straight, so maybe my that's where
your reference point might be outside.
My theory falls down, but
then mine is you should also be probably at your peak speed at the point you release the ball.
Yeah,
and it's going to take me a lot longer to get to that peak speed than one of the youngsters, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
The youngsters should have a short run up. They should be more accelerative than that word.
I don't know.
It sounded good though, didn't it?
It sounded like a word.
They should be more accelerative than me. So I do need a bigger run up. The problem with a bigger run up is it knackers me more.
So that's gone well. A lot's happened. You haven't even spoken about your finger yet.
Broke 2 fingers.
Don't work, kids.
Don't go to work. It hurts, especially when it goes
injured.
It does mean that I've got to spend all of tonight bowling though. So I won't be able to bat because I'm not getting them in the glove.
No. I'm not going to be the guy that pulls rank or anything, but I didn't bat. I was the only one that didn't bat last week.
So you're going to pull rank.
So I'm going to bat.
I'm not going to be that guy, but I'm going to be.
But yeah, it got to sort of towards the end, and it was basically me and 2 new people that were obviously hoping to play for the club in the season. I thought, well, I'm not going to bat in front of them because, like, imagine if
they're actually good.
They don't get a bat. Yeah, they're actually good. Don't get a bat, then we never see them again. Like,
we know that you're not good at batting, so
hey,
you can open the batting. Open the batting tonight because you'll get when I'm at my freshest.
That's true, actually, yeah, we could do that.
You'll get me at my freshest. Bouncer, Yorker. You're regretting saying anything now, aren't you?
I don't know if anyone else would be desperate to have a bat. It's funny, actually. Usually you have some people that say, oh, no, I'm not that fussed about having a bat. But everyone seems to have batted that's turned up at nets, pretty much.
Yeah, but now the numbers are catching up, aren't they?
I know, but what I'm saying is no one's sort of turned down the opportunity to bat. Usually some people do.
Don't know. Just let me bowl. Let me get some. I've got to get you out. After last week, I've got to get you out because I can't have that on my record. I'm actually what have we got? I think it's 4 left. We're going into the last 4 net sessions, and I'm going to miss next week because I'm working. And I'm now thinking, holy shit, am I going to end pre-season with less wickets than Tom?
I'm now potentially going to have to miss. We start a month away?
Yeah, a month today. Month this week.
I'm potentially going to have to miss a Sunday.
Right.
Well, where was I last Saturday? Football.
Yeah. I don't know.
Near home, near Faversham.
Whitstable. Did they win?
Yeah, so that's the first leg. They won 2-0. So they've got a 2-0 lead going into the second leg.
This Saturday.
No, it's on Sunday because they ground share with the rugby club, which is a bit weird.
So, they're playing Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Second leg, got 2-0 lead. And so if they...
Oh, is this where you had to go down to, was it Gloucester?
Well, I'm not doing it, but my boss is, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to have to go.
No. Yeah, and then obviously if they get through, then they're in the Wembley final, which I'm pretty sure that'll be May 12th, which I'm pretty sure is a Sunday. Was it?
Might be the one that we haven't got a game, though. Because we've got really weird start to the season that we play. I'm sure it's the 4th is the first game. We then miss a week, play again, miss a week, then play 2 in a row, then miss 2, and then we're back on schedule. And it's worked really nicely because it means that with me having my son, I've only got to miss 2 games. I've only got 2 games where it clashes with him. And then we sort of had this, I was going to say mid-season break, but it's more at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And then it swaps weeks. So it's no longer on a week that I've got him. So that's quite nice.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So, yes, I will be available this season, but not being funny, if I have the chance to go and work at Wembley for the afternoon, that tops playing cricket on that Sunday. Or Saturday, because it's a Saturday. Sam, listening.
That'd be a bit harsh, wouldn't it?
What?
Giving up the chance. You could for second week, you could go in, is it the orange cap in the IPL? No, or is that the highest run scorer? Go into it, top wicket taker. I might actually use you for the first week. If you're in this good form, one ball and another one.
We had a situation, I don't know if I told you this one before, when I lived up in Carlisle, where the umpire gave a no ball because basically I bowled it and just ended up p-rolling. And the captain went up to the umpire and actually went, I know that was crap, but it's actually not a no ball. Like, it's just a dead ball because it never actually made it to the batsman. And
that's not a fight you want them to win, is it? Actually, do you know what? Scrub that one. We'll do that one again. Oh, fuck. That was that shit.
Yeah, and the umpire went, no, you're right, actually. Yeah. So then I had to bowl it again. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
That's a dead ball. Much better. Thanks. Really, really glad.
Well, it didn't make any difference on how many balls I had to bowl before the end of the over because dead ball or no ball.
The run gets taken away.
Yeah.
No ball.
197. Oh no, 196. Off and over. Well done.
That's much better. That's brought your economy down from 42 and over to 41.9.
Lovely. Yeah.
This has been a cricket heavy first. Normally this is usual bollocks.
Yeah.
It's been cricket heavy for the last 25 minutes.
I'm trying to think what's actually...
Oh! I forgot to ask this because I was actually genuinely interested. The reason we didn't do an episode last week was because on the Thursday you was interviewing a certain new manager at a certain new club. Not new club. It's a certain club.
New club.
Not new club. It's a certain new manager at a certain club not too far away from here.
And postcode ME7.
Yeah. How did that go?
Yeah.
Because he seemed like a bit of a knob.
No, he's all right. Yeah, no.
Tom's weighing up. Do I want that Patreon money for saying something quite outrageous, or do I want my job?
Yeah, no, he was pretty good. I think once you've been around the circuit a bit, you're kind of fairly experienced. He's obviously a little bit different to sort of the bog standard manager, and he's not really afraid to sort of say that he's a bit different. And I feel like he's one of these managers that will kind of say it
As is.
say it as he sees it, sort of thing. Whereas some of them just won't. They'll just be like, "Oh, we respect everyone. Take it one game at a time. We'll do our analysis on them. We'll do this and that." Like he just won't.
Was it very different to the Kent Media Day? Was you given a bit
Yeah.
more than 10 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, probably had him for about half an hour, I think. And then they played.
That carry on, sorry.
So
I've got a question for it at the end.
They played yesterday. It's his first home game, and he was saying about how he wanted to get the Rainer men rocking and all that stuff. And he said he had to actually raise his voice in the changing rooms because he couldn't hear them. The players couldn't hear him over the crowd before the final bit of the sort of team talk. Which is a bit of an issue because today, as in Wednesday, he's got band practice tonight and he's now lost his voice.
Oops.
I wasn't there last night, but yeah. So, but yeah, he's quite open about the fact he's in a band. I assume it's just like a. It can't be. I don't think it's going to be top of the charts, is it? It's like the Rodney one in Only Fools and Horses. I would guess.
My question was, it's now essentially gone. I just can't remember what the question was. What was you saying before I was so rudely interrupted from interrupting you?
About having him for.
Sorry. Yes. No. The question. So I saw him on television being interviewed on Sky, not on Sky, ITV Meridian.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch them and go, "Fuck, that's a good question"?
Yeah.
Why did I not ask that?
Yeah. You kind of you more see sort of the quote or the standout quote from social media or whatever, or the story that they've done, and you're like, yeah.
You're not getting the co-tweet from Fabrizio Romano yet.
No, I had
as reported by T. Reeves.
Yeah, no. I had a conversation with my boss yesterday, and he'd said to me about asking a certain question, sort of around the 100, more like the background sort of stuff. Make sure you try and ask it at the media day. But before the media day, like a plan and sort of, this is the questions I want to ask to Adam Holyoke as a new head coach. These are the questions I want to sort of, these are general questions to ask the players. Obviously, like some of them, if you don't necessarily.
These are the questions I want to ask Matt Parkinson or Harry Finch.
Well, exactly.
One or the other, whichever one I seem to think looks like the other one at the time.
But then obviously you kind of need to think on your feet a little bit. Like they might say something, and you're a bit like, "Oh, that was a bit weird." Like, or do you want to elaborate on what you just said there? Or
does that count as a question?
What?
Do you want to elaborate?
Well,
if you've only got 3 questions or 10 questions, how many is, and you go, "Could you just explain a bit more about that?" Do they go, "That's another one"?
No.
You hope not, anyway.
Yeah.
So you get a fine through. You £100. You went over your question allocation.
I can't remember where I was going with that. We're talking about questions.
The standout quote.
Oh right, so yeah, and sometimes you sort of see it. You think, oh, so my boss said to me before it. He said, make sure you try and ask someone about the 100, a question like around the 100 and how it's going to impact counties. And he said to me yesterday, what was the response to that question? And my brain went, oh fuck, you asked me to ask that question before, didn't you? And he went, yeah, I did. I went, but I'll be honest, I didn't ask it. He said, right, okay. But he's saying, did anyone bring it up? And I was thinking, no, she asked questions along those lines. And they asked questions along those lines. No, you know what? The question that you asked, I don't think anyone asked it. And I'm not going to say it now because we're now going to ask it a bit later down the line. But to be fair, it's more like... I
just imagine you sat there going, there was something I was supposed to ask...
But by the time, and when you've only got 5 questions to ask, obviously you can kind of do one-to-ones afterwards.
5 questions to ask, and one of yours was still about Harry Finch's hair.
I like to think that one doesn't count. Just dug him out.
That's why we're blocked on everything.
So yeah, I like to think that one doesn't count. I can't remember. I completely lost it.
You were saying about the question you're going to ask her later today.
But yeah, to be fair, my boss then went, remind me who was on the panel thing. I was like, so-and-so head coach, director of cricket, captain. Said, yeah, they weren't the people to ask really, were they? It's like, No, there weren't the people to ask the question to. The question I completely forgotten about. But no, you are right.
Do you know what? Had someone else been on that panel, I might have remembered.
I would have definitely asked that question. But it's kind of, it's one of those where like there's so many people, and if I'm interviewing you, I can like write down some questions that I'm going to ask, and
Yeah, you won't be able to use many of the answers though. And he beep. Sam is quoted as saying, "Beep, beep, 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 you beep."
you can kind of prepare for it. Whereas, although it's all quite general about looking ahead to the season, it's quite hard to prepare for just someone walks in the room and you're like, you almost have like these tables and you sort of look around and you're like, okay, so I'm now finished with your Harry Finch, I'm now finished with you.
I don't look like Harry Finch.
But then so you sort of think, all right, cheers Harry, thanks. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
Move on.
And then obviously that he'll go and talk to someone else anyway, like a different reporter. And then you sort of look round and you're like, I don't think anyone's talking to Grant Stewart. He looks like he's just stood there on his own. And you try and grab him, but then you're like,
you grab him and you go, right, my question for you is, oh shit.
Yeah. So, but then you start with all the general stuff about the season and reflections on last season and that sort of thing. And then as you're kind of going through it, because it's all quite general stuff, you kind of in your head, you're thinking like what specifically can I ask him? And he said something about, it's gone online now so I can say it, but he basically, some of the Kent players went and played franchise stuff.
Sam Billings.
Yeah, some of them didn't really do a lot, so sort of stayed at home, but then went to Mumbai. And I said to him, like, what was your winter like? He was like, well, my winter was actually quite busy. And then I was like, oh, right, why was your winter busy? So, I went back to Australia, saw family, and I played some club cricket over there. Can
I just say, that still blows my mind. But because that is not really an English thing, is it? Like,
No.
The English summer ends, and like you said, they go off to far flight. But in Australia, it is such a thing to be. If you're one of the overseas players, you just go back and you just go, what do you want to do? Well, the local pub team were a player's short, so I'm just going to go and join in with them.
I don't think they're quite that standard. I think they're like Sheffield Shield or something.
Yeah, but it's such an Australian thing, isn't it?
When I had quite a busy winter, didn't I? I was a bit like, yeah, do you want to? Yeah, I suppose you did. He said, yeah, well, I went to Hong Kong, and I was thinking, what? And he's like, with Italy. I was like, oh, yeah, you play for... I didn't react like that. I was like, oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, that would have completely ruined any credibility you had in there as a reporter, wouldn't it? And I'm just, oh, yeah!
Then we started talking about like what that experience is like, and obviously they're getting more... I can't think what the right word is.
Coverage.
Yeah, but they're getting more people that like more Aussies and people are sort of coming to play for Italy. The standard's getting better. They're getting better players. Like they're getting county players now, sort of playing for them. So we were just talking about that. Which
was it Italy that Jake Dernbach went to?
Yeah, it might have been. But that's the sort of just through asking him the quite general questions. All of a sudden, he said something. I was a bit like, eh. But then I kind of sort of fleshed it out of him, like sort of basically around his Italy stuff, and kind of did.
What was he playing? What was that? The World Cup qualifiers for Europe?
No, it's just 50 over tours. I think it must be. When you're not I can't think what you call it, like a minor country,
associate nation.
Yeah, like certain competitions they play. He played one in Hong Kong and one in Uganda.
What?
I was like, not being funny, but like, if you become an Australian international, you wouldn't have been able to play in Hong Kong and Uganda. Probably not.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, yeah, Uganda aren't getting the call for the next Ashes. Like, right, England need to warm up for the Ashes. Where are we going? Yemen. Yeah, you're not getting that call, are you?
Yeah. Some of them are really like lovely blokes. Like Grant Stewart's one of the nicest guys. Daniel Bell Drummond's like.
Could you get them on here then?
I think they're a bit busy now. They're 48 hours out from the start of the season.
You've had all winter. All winter you've had.
I'm on 198. Oh shit! I was going to do that podcast with Chewy and Tom.
I love how you've introduced us. I'm on nickname terms. You're just Tom.
I don't know what they'd call me. I guess they call me Tom. They might have a nickname for me.
Did you have a nickname at school?
Just Reevesy, really.
Yeah, I was only Wellesley.
Yeah.
It's only since cricket started that I became Chewy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that
It was
just
angry, wasn't it?
Just through so many he's quite good at. You do need someone. Like every cricket team needs someone. I think that wicket-keeper chat we had last week. There's a lot of wicket-keepers, but you do need someone that's quite good with nicknames.
Yeah, Chewy.
Whether they're like ethically correct or anything.
Yeah, there has had to be a change from one of them, hasn't there? And can I just say, he was saved in my phone as that.
How
and
was it?
had to, when that came up on a screen once with a former partner, had to explain. Yeah, had to explain why a terrorist group was texting me. Did have to explain that one.
Yeah.
That was weird. But yeah, no, you do need. Chewy was mine from. Is yours just Reevesy still? Even cricket.
Plug.
Oh,
Bombsite called me Plug. Pingu, I've told you about before. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Reevesy, Pingu, Plug. I used to get called Superman when I lived in Carlisle because one of the Supermen was something Christopher.
Oh, Christopher Reeves, yeah.
So that apparently I was Superman for a bit. It was just one sort of. I think he was like an Aussie bloke. I was a bit like, right, fine. He beat me in a fight.
Yeah, but Christopher Reeves fell off a horse. Actually, you do walk like you're falling off a horse.
Trying to think. Ferrari feet.
Ferrari feet.
Just because I've got really little
steps.
Yeah, when I run, it's like really little steps. Like there's a. That was kind of more from.
I love it.
That was more from school than cricket, but
Ferrari feet.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I run. I don't because I'm not tall. I'm not tall like you two. So it's not. It's not like
still stride. You don't stride. You look like you're figure skating. I got Chewy and that sort of stuck.
Chewy, Wellesley. It.
Sasquatch, but that's kind of died down. It's a bit long, isn't it? So it's Chewy.
That's not really a nickname. You can't really.
No, it is a nickname. You can't just say it's not a nickname.
No, it's not really. It's not one.
It's not a name, is it?
It's not one you can use when you're playing cricket. That's what I mean.
No, yeah. So it's normally Chewy. If I'm not, and do you know what I find weird? If people don't call me Chewy.
What?
Like I just find it weird. If like it's one of those ones where, like, if I call Rosie by her name,
yeah,
she's like,
oh right.
If someone in the cricket group calls me Sam,
do some of the higher class people still call you Sam? I would have thought they would do.
And I find it weird. I'm so used to people just calling me Chewy that it's just like Sam. Oh mate.
In fairness, I think we've played. There was a point where we probably had an 11 made up of 5 Sams.
Yeah. Tall Sam, taller Sam, short Sam, young Sam, Sam. That was how it was named at one point.
Who was Sam?
No, it was Tall Sam, Taller Sam, and
yeah, but
Sam.
Which one was Sam? I don't know which one Sam was.
That was Stanford. He was Sam
because he's actually underrated. He's now got a nickname as well. No,
yeah,
Sam.
Bilbo.
No, Sam is now Sam.
No, because as you said, there was a point where there was 3 of us, weren't there?
We've been quite lucky with Toms actually.
You and
there's 3 Toms, isn't there? One doesn't play. One we tend to see in the pub.
Yeah, we apparently was going to play this year. I don't know what's happened there. And then Sam's brother-in-law.
Oh, 4 Toms.
Who's the other Tom then?
The one that's left.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
it's
count his
Thomas.
left.
Thomas, I suppose.
Yeah, but yeah, Sam. At the point, did we have 4?
I thought it was 4. I don't remember.
Me?
5.
Sam Evans.
We'll just go full name people down the pod.
No. Stanford.
Yeah.
Who was the other one? Creed.
Oh,
I think he played, but he didn't. I've not played with him, so maybe it was just 3.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 4.
Fuck me, we're old. We can't remember who we played cricket with.
I can't remember who I was talking to. It might have been my dad, but someone was like, "Can you imagine a list of everyone you've played cricket with, like now?" Oh my god, yeah! Like imagine people from.
We did have it was on the board in the fucking clubhouse before.
No, but what I mean is,
it across all of the.
I mean, like even when I've sort of Colts cricket and stuff and school cricket.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
Christ. You're looking at like 300 names. Like he was actually good, and then there was me.
We got an opening partnership of 100. He got 99 not out. I got 1. Yeah, no, I reckon there's probably a few. Like you said, school, Colts.
And you play with so many different people every year.
2 teams, didn't I? I left Sheldrich because it was when I was living in Gravesend. It was a bit far.
Well, yeah.
I took the travel, so I joined a team that was 20 minutes away.
So you went to at that point you were travelling in from Essex, so like that was a lot more.
Yeah, actually, now you say that,
picking up someone on the way.
Yeah, at 2 years ago when I was driving over from Essex, doing an hour to a home game,
picking up someone on the way.
I wasn't really picking him up on the way. He lived opposite me. That was one hell of a commute.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound so bad doing half an hour from Gravesend, does it?
I've completely forgotten who that fourth Sam is now. It's really bugging me.
I don't think there was.
I think there was.
But yeah, it was. At one point, it was Sam, Tall Sam, and Little Sam.
Hmm.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it was little, tall, and large. I think you can probably work out which one I was.
Yeah, I'm now technically Little Tom, although he's left. But
yeah, you've been demoted.
I'm not overtaking. I'm not. Well, I don't know if we're doing it at height or width, but I'm not taking on.
You're not
taking on Big Tom.
Neither way, you taking on Big Tom. Let's be brutally honest here. Big Tom got his name. He's sticking with that.
Yeah.
Say that with Ralph. Say is there? There's only one Alex. Sounds like I'm starting a really shit chant, doesn't it? It is Sam. Jonathan? We've had 2 of them.
Maybe it was only up to 4.
Yeah, but we still haven't got 4. We're still only at 3.
Creed.
Yeah, but I've never played with him, so. James? I've only got 1 of them. You're trying to think who the James is, aren't you?
Right now? No.
I was going to say, because
that's one now.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because he's so used to saying his like nickname, you just go, have we? Oh, yeah.
I had 2 James.
We've got 2 James. Because the other one, you forgot his name, didn't you? Do you see what I mean?
Well, that doesn't count, does he? Because he's not really playing. Is he playing this year?
Fuck, we got 3!
Which one's
4-5-2. Was captain last year.
Yeah, so that was one I just remembered. Who's the other one?
Bungalow.
Oh, yeah, I suppose
he's James.
Yeah, he's Jim, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's James. So is Creedy. You weren't thinking of Creedy, were you?
No, so I forgot Creedy.
Yeah. It's weird. Right, we need to start. This is nicknames. And that's what throws me. We've got that Timo that says who's available for nets and stuff like that. And I see some of them names and go, who the fucking hell's that?
Yeah, there's not many that go without a nickname. Jevin's probably one of the...
Jev, Luca.
Yeah, I can think of a few names for Luca, but
yeah,
not nicknames.
Not fucking DJ.
But his music taste, to be fair, for someone that's
14,
he's
16,
learning to drive, or so he's 17 or
17. No, I think he's 16.
16 and about to learn.
Yeah.
Like there's songs that I was like, oh, I remember this from my childhood. I was like, wait a minute, he's like a teenager. Luca, like, were you even born when this song came out? He's like, no. I was like, well, why do you?
Yeah, but surely you know songs that came out.
What, before we were born?
Yeah.
I don't think there's many that are that popular now, though, from before we were born. In
Yeah,
the
I've
80s,
never said popular, but you'd listen
it's just
to.
it's just a bit. No.
Yeah,
Well, no, I don't, because I just listen to what's on the radio, and the radio very rarely goes, we're now going back
and now we're going to the police.
No, going back to the 50s.
That's what you went with.
Well, just back.
What would have been out in the 50s? Elvis?
I don't know.
Would that have been the 50s?
Yeah. Elton John? Was that 60s?
60s, I think. Don't know.
Whatever happened to him?
Elton John or Elvis?
Elton John. He's still going.
I know he's still going.
That was a joke.
He did Glastonbury a few years ago. Did you see him on it?
No.
He looked old. And I know he is,
Yeah.
but he looked like Queen old.
Yeah.
You know, like at the stage where the Queen used to be out and about, and you'd be
Yeah.
like going, just let her sit at home in front of the TV.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it's like. It feels like with Elton John. Like the way you walk to the piano, I was like, that might be a step too far.
Rod Stewart, he must be 60s.
Yeah. What about what's his face from AC/DC? Brian Johnson. He's probably up there. And that actually, this might be a nice segue. This could be a good segue. Because we're talking about people's ages and people being old.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to talk about the new season.
Yeah.
And weirdly, thanks to that segue, we're going to start with Division 2. And 42-year-old Jimmy Anderson says he's got 3 years left in him.
Right. I mean, obviously, Darren Stevens did it to
46.
So
if he... So I believe...
And Darren Stevens never actually played internationally. I don't really... He's one of those players, I suppose, that you probably look at now and think about his career and you're like, how did you never play internationally?
Think about the bowlers at the time.
Yeah.
Hogarth, Harmison.
No, I think more like one-day stuff, like short form.
Yeah, I suppose. Hogarth, Harmison, Flintoff. Simon Jones.
But then he maintained playing at the same level for up to 46, whereas Anderson's actually dropping from international level down to that level for 3 years, so he probably can.
I think I've read somewhere that he's going to be the third oldest to play county cricket. I was going to say county championship, but they're obviously not in the championship this year. He's the third oldest to be playing county cricket, which I think is... Darren Stevens is the oldest.
Gareth Batty second.
Chappell.
Oh, okay.
Played.
Gareth Batty went really old.
I think Chappell went to 43, and then Jimmy's 42, isn't he? Oh, that might be wrong. I can't. It was one of them. Looked on Twitter, X, whatever it's called, and saw it and thought, well, that'd make a good stat. I never actually fact checked it.
I remember Gareth Batty sort of playing till really old. That was probably before. Well, Surrey were quite successful then, but before they were quite as successful as they are now. He did get in the England set. I'm going to have to Wikipedia that because he got in the England setup, didn't he, at one point?
Gareth Batty, yeah. What are you Wikipediaing?
Whether he actually played for England and how much and when he retired.
Okay. Do you think Lancashire will go straight back up, having Jimmy Anderson available full time?
Depends how available actually is. Because if he starts the season well, then a franchise might look at him.
Well, he was never picked up by a franchise, was he? He wasn't picked up by 100. He wasn't picked up by the IPL.
But if he starts the season well, like maybe 100 team will look at it and sort of change their mind. If, say, someone gets injured, that one of the teams like what's the Northern Superchargers,
or the originals.
Yeah, say if they pick up a couple of their bowlers, pick up some injuries, it might be like, we need to strengthen our squad a little bit. And if he started the season on fire, it might go for him. Or equally, he might not be able to. I think he should be able to adapt to bowling.
I'd say so. Bearing in mind, if he's made himself available for the 100 and the IPL, you would say probably available, probably adaptable. Kent, starting life in Division 2.
Yeah,
they sort of circled the bowl for 2-3 years before eventually dropping last year.
So let's do Gareth Batty's stats quickly.
Yeah, how old was he?
I'm not sure when he retired, but he took a hat-trick at 41.
Yeah, so
So maybe he finished at the end
41.
of that season. Actually finished in... No. He retired that was in 2019. He retired in 2021, so he played for 43.
So basically what you've just done is live fact check. I mean, I was wrong. Thanks, mate.
How many tests did he play for England?
2.
9.
Really?
As many as 9. How many ODIs?
8.
10. I didn't realise he played as many international games as that.
How many T20s?
None.
No.
Like 260 county championship games.
So Lancashire, I think, are probably in a quite a good position to come back up. Kent, are they held on to quite a lot of their squad?
Yeah, the squad's not really.
Not it hasn't changed much.
No,
They're probably weirdly getting relegated will probably do them a favour in that there was players such as Miaye,
Joey Everson.
who were I was thinking more of being looked at by England.
Oh, right.
For England one-day teams or squads, that dropping out of the Championship has probably done Kent a bit of a favour.
Yeah.
That they'll probably only really lose.
Well, they won't really lose anyone. I think
Crawley.
To the 100.
No, I'm talking when the internationals come round.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Crawley, Sam Billings for the one-day side.
Sam Billings is only in the T20 plus side anyway, so.
They being relegated might actually do them a favour and put them in good stead to come back up.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of, if you look at it, and I don't know, I didn't really do it last year, but if you look at it, you've got Miaye. Miaye sort of leading it, I suppose, because I think he's probably a bit too good to kind of be in this young category. He's probably a bit too good to be there.
Too young or too old?
Too good. He's too good to be like, oh, he's just a young.
He's a young and up and comer.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Joey Everson, arguably the same, but he's in that category. And then
Finch.
Harry Finch is 30.
Is he? He looks about 12.
Then you have Jazz Singh's 22. Never really had a chance because they just, I suppose, because it's Red Bull cricket, he just never really had the chance. Jaden Denley got 100 in the warm-up game this week. He's 19. And then there's Ikash Singh. Then ultimately any players that are going to play in the one-day cup. If the squad is a bit stretched, you could be looking at them. And then there's enough experience around them. Joe Denny's going to be injured at the start of the season. You got enough experience in Bell Drummond and
Compton
and
Crawley.
Leaning.
And Leaning, yeah.
And Compton.
You forget about Leaning, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and Crawley. I don't really know what category Crawley falls into at the minute. He's second ball duck in the last pre-season friendly.
Nice to see he's carried it on from last year.
So, but then equally, you wouldn't be surprised if he went into a coma for 3 days. You wouldn't be surprised to wake up on Sunday, look at the Kent score.
Zach Crawley got double 100.
Yeah,
he's carried the team.
Yeah, you wouldn't be that surprised really,
no.
especially in Division 2 cricket. So yeah, I think they're quite well balanced, and I think these young players, looking back at last year, possibly should have been given a chance. The only thing I suppose is really going to be they should be fairly serious about winning the One Day Cup, because I can't really think who they're losing. Crawley, Billings, Miaye got a side. Is he back with
the 100?
Is he back with the overall Invincibles?
Don't think so. Bell Drummond did he? He didn't put himself.
I think a lot of them get sick of it, where they basically just
go there.
Go there for
you essentially go, and especially where the Kent players weren't really getting played, were they?
Yeah.
They basically went to these places for a holiday.
You go there for a paycheck, which actually some people might like that. They might be like, well, you know, cricket's a short career sort of thing, and I get paid a lot. But
unless your name's Darren Stevens.
But I think a lot of them, like Jack Leading, obviously the year before that he'd gone in and just didn't get a game, so he pulled himself out of that, and he's going to captain the One Day side. And I think Deebs has now done
I'm pretty sure Bell Drummond's done the same.
So, but can you imagine like some of these sides where, like, say, Surrey, where they get completely decimated?
Well, we're going to come on to Surrey because let's finish with Division 2. So, let's say Lancashire and Kent, probably the favourites to come.
Yeah.
Probably the favourites to come back up.
Got a good match-up for the first game, Kent's first game, which only occurred to me today. They got new head coach Adam Hollyoake coming up against Northamptonshire's new head coach? Or head coach? Darren Lehman.
Oh, that'd be quite good. Moving on to the county championship.
They've won.
Div 1.
You said the county championship.
Yeah, but let's be honest, it's county championship and Division 2. Right. Let's realistically. So Div 1. Can Surrey do 4 in a row?
Yeah, probably.
What's going to stop Surrey doing 4 in a row?
Losing players to international schedules.
They are very heavy on the international. And I read this earlier. Do you know who qualifies for England this year?
Worrell, Dan Worrell does.
Dan Worrell qualifies for England. So
I think I saw a story. He got asked at the Surrey Media Day. Got asked about playing for England and basically said, like, yeah, I will do, like when I can. If they pick me, obviously I'll be delighted to. And I saw that story and I immediately thought of you. I don't know if I sent it to you. How did I?
You sent it to me and went, good luck. I was like, brilliant. Thanks, mate. I bet he's a lovely bloke. But whoever does Surrey social media needs to do someone else. Please.
So yeah, I would say they're definitely the favourites. I think it was closer last year than it had been. It wasn't quite so one-sided.
Essex gave them a good run, didn't they?
Essex gave them a decent run, and Essex probably don't. Jordan Cox is there, might go to England.
But they have lost Ethan Bamber going to Middlesex. Not Middlesex, maybe Middlesex. Can't remember. They've lost one of their bowlers. Might not have even been Ethan Bamber.
They got to
South Cook and
Harmer.
That's it. Oh yeah, he's back. Yay!
They always do really well with their overseas players. Going back to who was the South African bloke they had?
Elgar. Dean Elgar. They had him. He was there for so long. I think he became one of their Colpack players, didn't he?
Yeah. So, but they always do really well with their. I don't know whether it's a thing of like.
Come to Chelmsford.
Yeah.
It's lovely if you just ignore everything that side of the road. Stay this side of the A14 and you'll love it.
When the game finishes, do not exit the cricket pitch. Some of our security will escort you.
But just go past the courts. If you go in don't go in the subway under the road. Actually, we'll get a taxi to take you back.
Oh, do you know I worked at Essex for a little bit?
Did you?
When I was at uni.
What, in Carlisle?
No.
Can't ever commute, innit?
When I was at uni, through uni really, because I went to the University of East London, they basically gave me this sort of job opportunity really, part-time in the summer. It's a bit boring
in the winter, isn't it? What are you reporting on?
No, not reporting.
The grass is growing.
Being like one of the parking attendants at their members. Like they're basically their members park in a field.
I now understand why you hate them so much at Kent. You've done the job.
Yeah.
Go over there. Fucking over there.
But so basically, I looked at it and I thought it's gonna be too expensive from Faversham to get the train to Chelmsford all the time. It's gonna be too expensive. And I asked them, would they cover the costs of the expenses? They said no.
I was going to say, we've given you this opportunity. Would you pay me? You're fucked.
No. So they did pay me. But they wouldn't cover the expenses. But it came to something like the train was 40 quid. And say for like a one-day game or a county championship game, you basically got to be there because someone's got to be there all day, even though...
You don't start till 7, 8 o'clock, whatever.
Well, yeah, but you had to do stupid stuff like that. Like you had to be there for 2 o'clock for a T20 game for a 7 o'clock start because a member might want to park their car and then go into town and then come back for the cricket and then go back to their car. So you had to be there for like ridiculous hours. But it used to cost me about 40 quid. It was £12 an hour or something, £10 an hour. I basically used to spend my days sat there.
Playing Pokemon Go.
Sat there on my phone. Basically, they sort of turn up, be this, but they're all parked in a field. And like there'd be, especially for a county championship game, you only get like 10 cars. It'd be like, hello, here for I'm one of the members. There's your membership card, please. Yeah, it's that. Right. So where do you want me to park? Well, see that field there? That's like you can fit about 1,000 cars in. Park next to the one that's taken
park about an inch away from the car next to it, just to annoy them.
Yeah, but park vaguely near them. And so it was only really T20 games. Sometimes you obviously get a bit stressed around a T20 game because you're trying to park. You're actually filling up the capacity of a car park. But other than that, it was a great job. You got a meal voucher to go into the game, watch the game for, well, most of the games, quite a lot of the time. Got a meal voucher to watch it with. And yeah, £10 an hour. I made my money back and was making fairly decent whack.
Not bad.
Have I told you that before?
No. I didn't know you worked at Essex.
No.
Let's go.
But yeah, no, so
So
that's,
going back to it,
Yeah, so-
what can stop Surrey? Because I feel like we went off on one hell of a fucking tangent there. That ended with you in a parking Mercedes. Is it Mercedes? Mercedes.
it's weird you thought it was a Mercedes because that's absolutely what it was.
Yeah.
It's a stereotype for a reason.
It's either that or a Range Rover in Essex,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So yeah, I think Essex have got a decent chance because
Somerset?
and Somerset will be up there. I'm trying to think who they lose. They might lose, say, a James Rue,
Jack Leach.
Jack Leach,
Leach?
Jack Leach, and Josh Butler.
And I was gonna say you're gonna lose Shah Bashir, but they've loaned him out to Leicestershire. Is it Leicestershire?
Yeah, is that for the one day, is right?
No, it's for the first 3 county championship games. Which is a bit weird.
Well, yeah, probably because he's not getting in ahead of Jack Leach, is he? So yeah, those 3 will be up there, and it's just a case of it's almost like the Formula One thing, isn't it? Like how close can we get to Red Bull? How close can we get to Surrey? I would be surprised if someone beats them. I'd quite like it if someone did.
Is it sort of the man, like you said, the Red Bull, maybe not so much the Red Bull, the Mercedes thing in Formula One, where it's a bit like, yeah, we're bored of you winning now.
Yeah,
Can we see someone else win?
it's definitely that with Surrey, isn't it? Like if I go into the first time I covered Kent this year, if I go in there and ask them who do you want to win the Kent Championship, they'll probably say Somerset because they won't want it to be Essex or Surrey.
No one's saying Surrey apart from Surrey fans.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think who else is. Sussex were talking about. Well, no. So suppose building on last year, the next team, if they can maintain the sort of the form they had last year and continue their momentum, would be Durham. But I just don't really.
Durham's
I think they're gonna have second season syndrome. I think they're probably gonna.
that and what is its first 6? No, it's not many. 4. Is it 4 games Ben Stokes is out for?
Yeah.
Injured. Hampshire have obviously seen a bit. Hampshire's a bit weird, isn't it?
Mm.
James Vince is no longer playing county championship cricket, is he?
Yeah.
Is he just playing T20 or is it just one dayers?
T20s.
But they have signed Stoneham from Middlesex.
Yeah.
Was that right?
I don't know.
Oh,
I just like the way you say you haven't said Middlesex once yet. You've just gone Middlesex.
because I can't remember who it is.
Oh, who was it? Middle. Mm.
Might have been Middlesex.
Their new nickname. They're no longer Middlesex.
Well, yeah, maybe. But yeah,
So
it's not Surrey.
yeah. Do you think Durham would be the one to kind of gate crash that top 3, or do you think that will be the top 3?
I hate to say it, I think that's the top 3. You don't look at the rest of the league and think, it's all well and good saying, Durham have got Ben Stokes, they've got Potts, who...
I suppose Yorkshire have had the same thing for a long, long time.
Well, I was going to say Yorkshire back in Division 1.
Yeah. They've had the same thing for a long time where they were, they were never at the top end of Division 1.
Because they just lost every player. Well, that's our starting 11 for the first 4 weeks until England start, mate. And then we're fucked.
Yeah, that's true.
And they were even more bollocks if they played Pakistan because it was like, there goes our first team and our second team's just gone as well.
But yeah, like on paper, they've always had a good side, but they never really were at the top end of Division 1. And then all of a sudden, they were kind of nearly survived in Division 1 on the last day, but Kent just about managed to have one more season, didn't they?
Yeah.
In 23?
23. Yeah, but...
So on paper, yes, they could be top 3. But
they could, but the problem... The reason that Essex, Somerset and Surrey, I think, are that top 3, if you look, they've got more than one, this is going to sound really stupid, match winner.
Yeah.
Surrey are just a team of match winners. You go from the Curran boys to Abbott.
Yeah.
Sean Abbott's there. You got the fucking opening batsmen's Rory Burns and Sibley.
Yeah.
The whole team is a team of winners.
Yeah.
Somerset have got people that have won. Leach, Bashir, Butler. The whole lot are a winning team. Essex, not to that extent, but you say Harmer. Is it Cook? Simon Cook?
Not Sam Cook.
Sam Cook. You got them that will win you a game.
Yeah.
You look at the likes of Durham. Yeah, they've got Ben Stokes and they've got Matt Potts, who has come on leaps and bounds.
Who was the top run scorer last year? That was a Durham player, wasn't it?
No, I thought it was Beddingham.
Who's Durham?
Is he Durham?
I think so.
I thought he was Worcestershire. Yeah, he was top run star. David Beddingham. Beddingham.
Oh, yes. Back of the net.
Right, you smart prick.
He's younger than us.
But he was massively helped out by a couple of double hundreds as well, wasn't
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to stab you while you're on the floor.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Same with, who's the other one you said? Yorkshire.
Yeah.
They've got, you hungry, Charlie? You've got the match winners in Joe Root,
Yeah.
probably going to be gone.
Bairstow's captain, isn't he?
Bairstow's been made captain. Is it? Am I right in thinking he's the first one in Yorkshire's history, isn't he? Of father-son.
Oh, right, yeah.
Not first captain. They're the first father-son. Both of them have been captain for Yorkshire.
Probably, yeah. I can't imagine there's many. Yeah.
Again, that's a stat that I read on Twitter that may or may not have been fact checked.
Sounds right.
Yeah, but so did Jimmy Anderson being the third oldest player, and that turned out to be wrong. So
Yeah.
Batty Chapel and
I was trying to save you with something like third oldest English player, but no, they're all English.
good job, mate. Good job. Thanks. So put your head on the block. Bollocks on the line. Who's winning Div 1?
I'm sorry.
Who's winning Div 2?
Very hard to say. Probably.
Cool, this was fucking hard. I thought this was going to be the easy one.
Probably Lancashire, but Lancashire and Kent went down, and the only team Kent finished bottom. I suppose Kent finished bottom. Lancashire finished second bottom, so theoretically they should finish above Kent this year.
But the only team that Kent beat was
Lancashire. Yeah, exactly. So whether they'll kind of
even each other out.
And I don't think in that division. I don't think you're looking at both Lancashire and Kent are coming straight back up.
No.
I think there'll be a surprise in there.
Yeah, of course it will.
But
I think I'm going to go Lancashire winning Div 2. They're coming straight back up, I think, unfortunately for us. And I think Essex.
No.
Maybe that's more my heart leading my
Yeah.
head, but I don't want to see another Surrey win.
No. One that we didn't mention is I think Sussex could potentially do a Durham and be sort of top 4. They seem fairly ambitious and obviously went up with Farbrace, who's got a lot of experience as a coach.
And this is the first year of, how do I put this politically correct? Indians money.
Right, for
the Indians group. This is the first.
Yeah.
They obviously took over halfway through.
Yeah.
So I don't think
that might help them with overseas players.
I was going to say overseas players. I don't know if it will necessarily. It's not going to be like Man City going, we're going to sign everyone.
No.
But I think the infrastructure around might.
Well, it might help because basically, I think say a team like Kent, I think they just kind of obviously do their research and homework on players, but it's almost like a stab in the dark. Like they've got 2 overseas players coming over,
Cash Rafali and
Dungeon.
Yeah, I think it's
Tim Dungeon.
Dujon. We'll go with Dungeon because it sounds scary.
But that's almost like not shots in the dark, but
not really heard of him, have we?
No, although Cassie Valley's a test international. To be fair. Whereas
but he's not one that jumps out at you.
No, but whereas they can have maybe through the franchises, they could have some quite reputable and serious overseas players. So yeah, I think I could potentially see them doing a Durham. I could potentially see. I don't think Durham will go down, but I don't think Durham will do as well as they did last year.
Well, I'm not even going to go into who's going down because I think Div 1 is a lot harder to call this year because
Div 2's fairly easy to call. Who's going down? No one.
Yeah. But last year you looked at Div 1 and you kind of went, well, the breakaway teams are going to be Surrey, Essex, Somerset.
Yeah.
And the breakaway teams for the wrong end are Lancashire and Kent.
Yeah.
And we just hope that it's not us and we'll drag someone with us.
Yeah.
This year you do look and go, well, even the ones that went up, they're good team. They're good teams for that division. So that was our roundup of the preview of the upcoming.
Oh, can I just ask you one question though? It's a question I asked on media day to the players. What do you think Do you think too much is made of the difference between Division 1 and Division 2 cricket? Do you think there's like a football mentality where it's actually the gap's not that big?
I think from a player's point of view, probably not. From a fan's point of view, probably not as well, because like you said, the players are locked in, or a few weeks ago, shall I say, not years. I've been doing this for years. Players are locked in for contracts, even if they're relegated. Yeah. The teams don't really change. It's the outliers that go and the outliers that come back in. So I'm now thinking of that text you sent me earlier where you went, I've not heard a lot of that player. And I text back and went, he was released.
That wasn't my finest moment.
Not your finest moment.
Mind you, my boss didn't flag it. I said that to him yesterday. He didn't flag it.
I'm sure.
He'll clock it at some point.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was one that
yeah,
was.
You're right.
I was right, was I?
You're right. What I'm saying is my boss, I had that conversation with my boss and he didn't flag it either.
Yeah. But the teams are pretty much the only way that you will see a difference is the international call-ups. Again, Lancashire and England, Lancashire and Kent probably didn't have that issue when you're struggling at the bottom of Div 1.
No, just
are the countries looking and going,
well, it's action really.
No, at this point. I think that's more of a generosity thing. But that's probably where the difference lies, where if you said to, let's say you found out you had a long lost cousin who's coming all the way over from Uzbekistan or something, and you went, I want to take you to go and see Kent on this day when you're over, you could pretty much, unless there's injuries, nail your flags to the mast as to who they're going to see.
Yeah.
Whereas you can't do that with the likes of a Division 1. The fuck was that? The Division 1 teams like Surrey. You can't go, if you come over on this weekend,
you watch good players, but I have no idea which players they'll be.
I don't know who will be there. That's probably the only thing where you think there's a difference. Do the players feel there's a difference? Or?
So the players, interesting, the players, I asked them this, and a lot of them, to be fair, did give it quite a bit of thought. And they went, I'd be lying if I said there's no difference. But I'd probably take your point that the gap's maybe not as big as some people think it is.
I don't think it's Premier League Championship.
No, because there's still some really quality players in Division 2, and there is a difference. But, basically there is a difference, but the gap's not massive.
Yeah. It's probably, like I said, probably more the infrastructure, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're Surrey playing at the Oval, Middlesex at fucking Lords, and then you're turning up to Leicester and going, we've got one stand. Okay, this is new. Even Kent's got two stands, and the outside bit.
Oh, 3 stands. Oh, 2 stands.
The opposite ones.
Yeah.
Either end, and then there's the seats go around outside.
Yeah, 2 stands and the seated bits.
And then the hill.
Yeah. I'll be doing that soon.
Yeah, I do want to try and get down to a couple of T20s this year. Try and convince Rosie that that's a good idea when we save up for a wedding. Please. Can you come pick me up?
I think the thing is, though, Sam went to some of these one-day games,
T20s.
pre-season friendly games, because they're a free entry.
That's probably why I don't answer the fucking phone to me when I ring him.
But really, the kind of the cheapest and the most accessible time player-wise to go is in the Captain Championship. But it just doesn't logically, unless it's on a weekend day. I suppose.
And we're playing anyway.
Yeah, it just doesn't really work. Bank holiday Monday, I suppose, maybe if you're off and they're still playing.
No, I definitely do want to try to get down to a few T20s this year.
Yeah, the issue is just the price, isn't it? With T20, it just goes up and up.
It goes sky high. Have you got a rant this week? Because I have.
No.
Okay.
I'm a really mellow person. You should know this by now.
I'm a really mellow person, but a certain type of person is pissing me off, and they're starting to come out of the woodwork now. You know how the weather's been really nice the last week and a half? Convertible drivers are back. Convertible drivers need shooting.
Well, they're not back. They're just converting their cars. They're just
Decapitating their cars.
Decapitating their cars.
De-roofing. Yes.
De-roofing, that's probably a better word.
But they are just... Why is it? And I always thought it would be the opposite. I always thought a van driver always drives like a twat. And I include myself in this. Drives like a twat because you just think, I've got this big metal van around me.
Yeah.
I'll be safe if someone wants to ram me off the road.
Yeah.
Why? As soon as you take a roof off a car, do you automatically think you can drive like a twat?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And going back to the point about Essex, it's always a fucking BMW.
Sunny's on.
Sunny's on.
I'm not sure I'd drive with a sunnies on. Obviously I wear them, but I'm not sure I'd drive with them.
Oh, I do. Practicing. I do in the mornings because when the sun comes up, it can be quite blinding. Which is why the Weeknd sang that song. Maybe. Another non-fact check thing that I've pushed forward. But they always have a sunglasses on, and they always have a cap that looks like it's been in the family for generations and is always for a discontinued brand. It's always like a golf company that no longer exists or another car manufacturer that has gone bust. Like I can fully imagine like someone driving a convertible Mercedes with like a Saab hat. But you can imagine it, can't you? That's the way it works.
Does this cap say woodworm?
Yeah, woodworm are still going.
Are they?
Yeah, just about. They're online. I used to have one until I got my health for leather.
Just not cricket stuff.
Yeah.
Is it still cricket stuff?
Luca's got a woodworm. Luca's got my woodworm.
Yeah, that's not a new one though, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had the glowworm. I think it's called the glowworm now.
Oh, I just assumed it was kind of bent.
No, it's glowworm. But yeah, if you've got a convertible, stop driving like a knob.
Yeah, I haven't got a rant, but something we forgot to talk about, which we can talk about briefly, is talking about woodworms.
What a fucking segue! Do you know what? My ears picked up because I was like, what have we forgotten to talk about? And then I got the reference of the woodworm. What a segue, Tom.
So who famously batted with a woodworm?
Kevin Peterson.
Other than him.
I think Matthew Hoggard had it.
Oh, for God's sake. Who won England the 2005 Ashes on his own, pretty much? Other people did contribute. Well done, but that bloke pretty much did it on his own.
For the sake of this story, who was it?
Stephen Gerrard did it a little bit.
Stephen Gerrard was in Champions League final rather than against Chelsea.
And then the Champions League final.
Can't remember.
Andrew Freddie Flintoff.
Andrew Freddie
Flintoff. Who last week was seen at Kent games for some obscure reason. Actually, at first I saw...
It wasn't an obscure reason.
Well,
he was helping out with the batting.
Yeah, so I saw this before and I thought, well, that's good. England Lions' head coach has come down to Kent to, help out with before the start of pre-season. I thought, that's good. And I didn't really think a lot more of it because I just thought, well, he's England Lions head coach. He's probably going to go around the circuit a bit. And then pre-season starts and there's always some really random names that get chucked in. Like, sort of see...
Archie Vaughan.
Yeah, but you sort of see some players' names in there and you think, who the hell's that? And like last year, they turned out to be either a trialist or someone from the second team or whatever. And they're basically just having a look at them. I mean, even Adam Hollioake went on the field at one point on Sunday.
Did he?
Pre-season friendly, I don't know why. But then the surname Flintoff popped up. And I thought,
fuck me.
That's
He's
weird.
rolling back the years.
So I thought, that's weird. But again, I didn't really think a lot more of it. And then on Sunday night, I did panic a little bit. You know what you're saying about people kind of getting these really asking people the same questions you've asked, but they ask better questions sort of thing. I did panic a little bit because there was a Daily Mail exclusive that Corey Flintoff, who is Andrew Flintoff's oldest son, is about to sign for Kent. I was like, shit, should I have known that at the media day? Like, have I completely missed something? Have I completely missed that? And then I looked back and they'd done it as an exclusive, and they've done it on like last Friday night. But yeah, so he bowled against Essex, watched on by his dad.
Yep.
And Rob Key, which I'm gonna guess.
It's probably how he got in.
I was gonna guess Freddie Flintoff and Rob Key were really pally from the England days. So if he can't get a deal at Lancs, which I assume he can't because he played second team cricket for them last year, and didn't get in.
It's a first team contract, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a rookie contract, so I think it's more like the.
It's more so. That's more so he can carry exist at uni, isn't he? As well
in Manchester.
That's gonna be fun.
I've
missed my train. Why is that? Because I'm hungover to fuck.
So he bowled 4 overs, I think, against Essex in that friendly. Then bowled a bit yesterday and took his first Kent wicket.
Who was the friendly against yesterday?
Loughborough University.
Oh, the annual.
Yeah. So 19-year-old, so still pretty young. Following in his dad's footsteps, and
weirdly following in his younger brother.
I was going to say, is that the right?
Weird. I don't know how it works.
Is that the right terminology? Because he's the younger brother, but
older brother.
No, exactly. He's the older brother.
Rocky's the younger brother, isn't he?
Yeah. Just feels all a bit backwards, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely sort of piqued an interest in terms of sort of ahead of Kent's season. I suppose the only thing is, and I sort of said this to my boss, is kind of like we're now going to have to deal with for the first month of the season, just every national like
paper wanting to know how he's got on.
There was a thing like in the press release. So there's not standard press release when they sign the player, quotes from player, quotes from Director of Cricket Simon Cook, pretty standard. And at the bottom it said Corey Flintoff will not be available for interview at this stage. And I kind of laughed when I read that because I thought I can just imagine like every clickbaity sort of thing would just be after that. But you have a month of.
You don't want the title to this episode to be something clickbaity to try to get attention.
You can do what you like with it. But,
I will do anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I would imagine for a good month of the season now, we're going to have people like end of games asking Adam Hollyoak, like,
saying that,
what's Corey?
Because he's at uni till
he's only going to play in the one day cup, isn't he? I would have thought.
Well, no, I don't know, would he? Because he's at uni till the beginning of May.
Yeah.
So he's got a month that he's not really going to be playing.
I know, but people can come and ask the head coach about him, like...
What do you think? I think he's probably still asleep.
Yeah.
But what do you think? He's in psychology at the moment? I don't know. Oh, fuck.
Well, exactly. It's going to kind of be like how they signed him and what he's made of him so far, and like who's
your idol? You see the surname? What do you think?
So yeah, have a sort of a month of that, but I suppose sort of as long as it didn't turn into a bit of a circus,
no,
it's good. And then it'll be good to see if he can
mimic his dad. Mimic's the wrong word. I know what I mean.
But it'd be good if he can, make it as a cricketer. I mean, obviously, it's a bit strange he's come down to Kent because he'd have obviously preferred to be in at Lancashire because that's where the family is, and he played for them last year, and that's obviously not materialised. So, but there's all sorts of stories. I mean, look at Harry Finch. Harry Finch got released by
everyone
Sussex pre-COVID, and you're going into COVID thinking like, I'm never going to play professional cricket again, and now he's Kent's Red Bull wicketkeeper.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like we should probably wrap this up because have you seen the time? And we've got cricket in an hour.
Yeah.
We've got nets in an hour.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I need to go home first. I need to get changed.
I was going to say, are you going to nets just like that? Are you?
Yeah.
Just like you've just walked off a beach. You look like you've been at a beach wedding. Like minus the tie. You look like you've been invited to the evening bit of a beach wedding.
Yeah.
Do you want to do announcement now for what's coming up, or?
No, you can do it.
Okay. So, you know how we keep banging on about our Patreon and how good it is? But at the moment, all you get is these early. That's going to change in the next month or so. Basically, we're timing it so that when Nets finishes, which is going to be, I think...
About a month, isn't it?
About a month. We are going to be releasing, and the title is currently as yet unknown, but a extra weekly episode. It's only going to go to the Patreons. So they're going to be a bit more, what did I say earlier? That was
Racy, I think you called
yeah.
it.
Because it's behind a paywall, we've made an
unfiltered.
Let's call it unfiltered. From the boundary unfiltered. Let's call that a work in progress title. Because that's shit. But basically, if you like these episodes, but don't like the cricket, they're going to be the episodes for you. They're going to be about half an hour. They're going to be slightly different because Tom's not going to want to drive over here for a half hour, but they will actually work. Not like the first 3 episodes where you can only hear me. They will work. And basically, they're going to be half hour of more swearing, probably ruder stories, and just minus the boring cricket stuff. So that is coming. The exact date is unknown. The exact title is unknown. But the Patreons will be the first ones to know because we will announce it on there when it's starting. And then we will announce it on here.
That's what I think of a title. From the Boundary Unfiltered is not bad. Unhinged.
Sunday session. The Sunday sesh.
Yeah.
Depends what day we release it. If we release it on a Tuesday and call it the Sunday sesh, it might... I see a flaw in the plan.
That's like the Ted Lasso bit where he's trying to explain Sheffield Wednesday. We're playing Sheffield Wednesday twice this week. No, we're playing Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. So we're playing Sheffield Saturday.
I'd like to point out we did this joke last
did we?
episode. Yeah, exact same episode. The exact same joke. The other thing, we are still after your cricketing insults, sledging, all that.
Please, we're running out of time.
Yeah, our season starts in a month, so you need to get them in and we will pass them around. And we are... Email those in, to From the Boundary Wall.
FromTheBoundaryPod@gmail.com.
It is from the boundary. I haven't done it for so long, it threw me, I've forgotten. And I'm now going to hand over to my esteemed colleague who can do the social media because he does it every week. And
we are okay, great. We are on Facebook,
I'm so sorry.
Twitter, and Instagram and TikTok.
Please let me out of the loft.
From the Boundary Pod.
Yes.
And we also have a Patreon
that we've just explained.
And an email address which has just been mentioned. So my job was really easy.
Maybe it might have been mentioned. I might have fucked it right up.
That's about everything that I usually have to do. Rattle off a few things at the end, but you saved me.
See?
Ish.
That can be nice. Ish.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.